The title is not a misprint. This is Dirty Pair Flash, an OVA from the mid-90s, and even though it was intended as a sequel to the original series, it instead is sort of spun off into its own alternate take on the material. I'm told, as is usually the case, I have no prior experience with Dirty Pair, and so I'm talking solely about this series, not about what is said outside of it, because I have no idea what that is. For all I know, these two are actually supposed to be robots from the sun or something. We start off in a neighborhood so rough the cops who enter it realize they made a wrong turn and run for it. The 90s, when this came out, were when tough on crime really went through the roof. I mean, the 70s, there was a lot of violent crime. The 80s, there's a crackdown, yeah, but it was all drug war stuff. The 90s were all about just stamping crime out. So the concept that without serious stamping out of crime, the innocent were helpless, that was still running, and there's a reason the Punisher himself had 3 monthly comic books in the early 90s. Anyway, time to check in with the chief of the 3WA, who's unhappy that our titular pair aren't answering their calls. He asks for the computer to call up Yuri's file.
Here's the scoop. Date of birth, March 3rd, 2231. Hey, well, that makes her just 17. Gender, female. Zip, those bodacious tatas didn't give that away.
The dub has a lot more to say than the sub does, but not all of it is probably called for. While her practical skills are extraordinary, Yuri barely scraped through her exams. Additionally, she's frequently absent, a bit of a delinquent.
The 3WA was created by the Galactic Federation to promote human prosperity and welfare throughout the cosmos.
Now you can't even stop gangs from conquering the neighborhood in front of the building. Kay is Yuri's partner.
Date of birth, January 1st, also in 2231. Planet of origin, yet another backwater star system. And if you can't tell she's female, you need your eyes examined.
You'd be forgiven if you thought this computer's boob obsession is the reason for the show's title. Kay is just as much of a dipshit and currently in the middle of her 4th probation. But 3WA is so short-staffed that they have to settle for dipshits. The computer has paired them up for reasons it is very defensive about, and seems to have mistakenly given them the retired, respected name of Lovely Angels. This is a problem because unlike the expected thick as thieves you'd get from two near washout with tons of practical skills, they hate the rules as much as they hate each other.
The Lovely Angels. Molly, Iris, forgive us.
Yeah, look at that. Who knew having broken moons would be my theme for the week? After the titles, we see a guy bleeding out in public, and this can only be ignored for so long. He gives Yuri a magnetic card to give to the 3WA. He knows who she is somehow. But then some guys in purple uniforms show up demanding the card.
You and I guarantee.
Oh, right in the dirty pair. Just before, Yuri had spotted Kay while out purely by accident, so she tosses the card to her while luring the bad guys away. Assuming that you want to be generous, it's entirely possible based on their arguing she just can't be arsed to deal with villains tonight and is dumping it on Kay. While the two wind up getting pursued, a woman tells the cops they killed the guy, so now this is a police chase as well. Meanwhile, the master villain, and try not to be shocked, but is the head of a gigantic corporation, is unhappy at this development. It's going to undermine him with the board.
They lack your vision, sir. Only a mind of extraordinary proportions could contemplate the challenge of revitalizing the entire galactic economy.
He always has his brown nosers to pick up his spirits. The cops catch up with our angels, who are in the midst of bickering over who should report this to the authorities and who should get on with their evening, only to be surprised that they're being treated like the criminals. What's worse, the actual criminals yoink the card right out of Kay's hand, so Yuri steals a cop car and doesn't wait for Kay to even get inside. The villains are forced to abandon their car in the pursuit and run off on foot and need to call in some support.
This neighborhood, you understand? Yes, or you'll do that chop and both the cops and the girls be toast.
He seems deep and nuanced, doesn't he? The chief takes a break from practicing his putting to lament that the local authorities won't let 3WA handle things. The fact the cops are after the girls, allowing the actual killers to steal someone's car, does help his argument. Things are quickly getting Blues Brothers here, made worse by a helicopter which may or may not be with the cops, it's hard to tell. It just shoots up everyone but the actual bad guys. The chaos that follows is overwhelming. Yuri winding up first on some punk's motorcycle, then knocked with her clothes ripped to shreds onto the bicycle that Kay landed on, and the helicopters just lobbing missiles into the fray. Until finally, when you think things can't get any crazier, so we definitely know the series is set in Japan. Going beyond even that is Kay getting knocked off her feet by missiles, and it's not sure which is less believable, that she lands like this without being a human crayon, or that the missile fails to go off, yet still is armed. We know it's still armed because Kay hurls it back at the helicopter and blows it up. I sure hope those weren't the cops. During this, Yuri got the card back, allowing the two to bicker as they run off on foot. The robot chases them, but the bobbing makes it impossible to shoot at them, and the driver can't figure out how to change this thing back into a car. It's got advanced Inspector Gadget technology. Kay angrily tosses the card back at Yuri, only to realize she's not Gambit, so it just flutters away. They escape only because the robot must not have been designed to literally be running for so long, and it starts to shake itself apart. Kay recovers the card, and now having argued over who has to take the card, the two now argue over who gets to take the card. The pursuing remains of the robot settles that, but they get chased into Splattertown, which would be bad, but they're just so pissed off that they transform. Foom. Kay gets their rocket launcher and puts it to good use.
They gotta be able to hear this!
Yes, Kay's decided the best way to get reinforcements is to be such a menace that the 3WA has to come down and sort it out. It's touch and go, but finally the cat rescues the card and leaps into Yuri's arms. He's chosen his team. After the mess is sorted, they turn the card into the chief, who says it's a waste compared to the devastation of this city, and I can't disagree with him on that either. And the villain, he just has one question.
The moon. Sir, will it ever be in one piece again?
I don't know, did we number the pieces first? The episode ends with the two girls having survived all of that together, and naturally, they walk away from each other, pissed off more than ever. What's this all mean? We'll find out in 2 weeks with more of Dirty Pair Flash.